Hello again, and welcome to Try This at Home, which is my personal little way of saying we're at Yoga Intermissions. 50-minute classes. Generally, the posting on YouTube tells you pretty much what we're going to focus on. This week might have sounded a little bit vague, which is take a moment. But I've been focusing over the past couple of weeks on the notion of integrity, not the modern kind of definition of integrity, but that which goes back to the Latin origin, integer, meaning unified, whole, one. And oh, by the way, yoga, the word yoga also is often interpreted as the yoking together. So the unification, the whole, and the one. And a way to really get back to oneness for yourself, because the world, likes to separate ourselves from ourselves, social, political, cultural norms, the way we're schooled and the like. So we're going to start off today considering a bunch of parts of ourselves, and then we're going to do a meditation to the whole. So we'll start by closing the eyes and finding a nice long spine. Maybe a little stretch of the neck, left and right, forward and back. Maybe a little back bend. Just finding a little bit of movement in your spine, a little opening up in the heart. And then the hands can gather into the lap. If you like, they might be palms down on your thighs or palms up, or you can stack them in a meditative mudra with the back of the right hand on the palm of the left and the tips of the thumbs touching. We want a nice long neck, a little bit of looseness in the thighs. And as I said, we're going to start considering each sort of piece part, not every single thing, but in a general sense. So we'll start with the physical body. So in this moment, what sensations, what is your experience in your right toes? Doesn't have to be good, bad, black, white, just what is it? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe you don't feel or see or are not aware of anything right now. And the foot. Hone in on the heel. And again, on the right side, what are you experiencing in your ankle? Maybe it just feels there. The lower part of your right leg. So you might consider the shin and the calf. You might look for anything that feels loose or open. The knee, back of the knee, front of the knee, inside, under the kneecap. And don't worry about what you felt when you were in bed or when you got up from bed. It's where you are. You're meeting your body right here, where it is. Any sensations in the upper leg on the right, the thigh, the hamstrings, the places where the glutes connect with the hamstrings. And then the glutes themselves. Maybe what you feel is simply the weight of them seated. The hip crease. What are you experiencing in your low belly on the right side? The rib cage. Just the right side of the rib cage, all the way from the front to the side to the back. Are the ribs nice and open? Do they feel tight and closed? Do they feel welcoming to your breath? The right side of the chest, the shoulder blade, up and around the top of the shoulder. What is here? What is now? What is experience in this moment? Now glide our awareness down the arm, the upper arm, noticing anything. The elbow, just like we did the knee, the inner, the outer, the underneath the little elbow cap. The lower arm on the right. What about the wrist? What do you feel physically? The hand, all the digits. You'll take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. One thing I'm noticing is my body's, I'll call it, need to rock forward and backward. And I'm not stopping it. I'm allowing it to do what it feels like it needs to do. It doesn't mean I'm paying less attention. So we'll carry our observations down to the left foot, the toes in particular. What are the sensations there? The foot, maybe you feel some air. Maybe you feel tightness. We don't judge it. The heel, does it feel maybe heavier than the rest of the foot? The ankle. The lower part of your left leg, and maybe the shin feels a little different from the calf, and that's okay. Kneecap, under the kneecap, behind the knee. The left thigh. For me, my experience is that it feels a little lighter, a little looser than on the right. We're not perfectly symmetrical. We are asymmetrical, though. And the left hip crease. The glutes. Low belly. Rib cage. Left side of the chest. Left shoulder blade. And what about the top of the shoulder? Are you holding tension there? Are you holding energy? Are you holding effort? Are you holding emotion? See if you can loosen that up and move that feeling of looseness down into the top of your arm, elbow, bottom of your arm, the wrist, the hand, and all the digits. Big breath in. Huge breath out. A drop of the left ear toward the left shoulder. And then a turn of the chin toward that left armpit. Left hand reaches up and comes behind the head, so that sort of giant noggin part, the occipital lobe. We'll just rest the hand on that space. Feel what we feel. I'm feeling a little tightness in my left wrist, but I feel a really nice opening all along just to the back of the right side of my neck. So I'm massaging it. Loosen it up a little bit. Chin drops to the center. We lift the chin and we bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Again, drop the chin toward the armpit and lift up the right hand, placing it on the back of the head. No pushing, no pulling, just gravity helping you out. Feeling the goodness of massage from my left thumb on the left side of the neck. And the chin drops and the chin lifts. So that was an experiencing in the moment of the body. In yoga, we often focus on those things with the body that are quote unquote not working right, or not feeling right, or not feeling good, or feeling bad. When in fact, it just is. There's no positive, there's no negative. It's where you are, where your body is in that moment. Can you change some of those feelings? Yes. By focusing on them and breathing into them, by practicing your yoga. by doing that kind of a body scan. But now we'll also check in with the other aspects. We'll check in with our energy. So first we notice very low in the pelvis, the earth chakra. So think of this as a wheel of energy that connects you to all things material, to the earth, to your yoga mat, to the practical stuff, the physical stuff, the material stuff. Do you notice, especially given this transition into August into autumn, are you noticing any more sort of connection with Mother Earth than you have, I don't know, in the summer? And from that color, red, that earth chakra, we move up to the water chakra, which is in the low belly. This is a energy wheel of productivity, of production, of creation and recreation. I like to think of it as recreation as well. How does this feel? What's the energy there? Is there nothing? Is there something? And if it's a something, is it a something you could benefit from paying attention to? I believe, if I'm remembering my childhood correctly, this is a place where you feel butterflies if you're a little nervous or a little bit anxious. And we move upward to the fire wheel, just up to the center of the belly and upward to where the rib cage meets in the front, the top of the breastbone. This is the place of confidence, of decision making. And when that is not activated, we have trouble making decisions. We have trouble committing. We have trouble finding enthusiasm. And a lot of times with this kind of chakra energy, you can use breath work to help you out. Today, we're going to use a bit of a meditation once we do this run through, this inventory. The heart space. Most of us think of the heart as being on, wholly on the left. I like to think of it as spread a little farther than that. And this color green, very different from the yellow fire underneath it. This green is the green of a gem, like an emerald. And it is the gem of compassion that is always, always, always within us. It might be obfuscated. It might be obscured. It might be clouded over, but it is always, always, always there. It can be difficult to find oftentimes, but then other times in a moment of sheer joy, sheer happiness for someone else, sheer laughter, that's when we come back to our true selves, integrated, one, yoga. Moving up to the center throat. This is the color blue. Our energy wheel of communication and purification. And oftentimes when we're ill, as you know, we lose our voice or our voice gets gravelly or whatever it is. Sometimes that's due to treatment, but sometimes it's due to the illness itself. What do you feel there? Does it feel tight? Does it feel loose? Does it feel open? Does it feel talkative? Does it feel like it's helping to cleanse the words that come out of your mouth? And then as if our gaze is moving upward with our energy, we move to the center of the forehead. This is the energy center of knowing, of wisdom, of understanding. Its color is a little darker purple than the throat, a little bit more sort of indigo. Do you feel anything there now that we're focusing on it? Can you loosen the eyebrows and the skin in the forehead? Just to help yourself feel more comfortable. The crown of the head now, which is the final chakra, the final energy center or wheel, is represented often by a 1,000-petaled lotus. It's the color purple, but a lighter purple, like a lilac or a lavender. And for me, just by focusing on that area, I feel a little tingling. And I feel that's kind of a cool thing for me to experience, because that tingling is associated with knowing oneself, with the one, well, there's probably more than one, but one of the things that we do not find in the rest of the animal kingdom, which is the consciousness, the ability to observe oneself and to make change to oneself. Drop your hands by your sides. Scoot the shoulders up by the ears. Breathe in. Press them behind you. Release. 2 more times. And let go. Let's switch the cross of our feet. We'll go ahead and bring the arms up overhead. We'll gaze toward the thumbs and press them together. You can drop your chin a little. Draw your fingertips to the nape of the neck or between your shoulder blades and press your head back into the pillows that are your forearms. Notice where you feel this. It doesn't matter where. And notice what you feel. And instead of focusing on something that we would often label as bad or nasty or not good, focus on something that feels, I don't know, open and soft and receiving. Interlace your fingers and press the palms to the back of the head. Open up that heart. We're going to take a little tilt to the right. Heart up. And inhale upright, tilt the other way. Move upright. This time we're going to twist and draw the left elbow toward the right knee. It doesn't have to touch. Lift back up. We're drawing the rib cage toward the hips as we twist the other way. Drawing the elbow down, trying to keep the left elbow open. And another round. Draw the hands behind you or beside you. Once again, the fingers point toward you. You're going to lean back a little bit. Tilt your pelvis forward so your thighs might activate. And then lengthen. Oh, beautiful pop in my spine. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Drop your head back. See if the shoulders can move a little more away from your ears. We're just taking all the movements of the spine before we move into our second meditation. Shoulders come over the wrists, the arms sweep forward, come onto your fingertips. So, like the black cat. You want to straighten your spine. Imagine the heart is reaching forward and up, and we'll walk the hands forward until we can't go any further. Inhale. Exhale, walk them even more forward, then drop your head. Hopefully you're feeling this in a spine stretch. Maybe it's in your thighs. Maybe it's across your lower back. Maybe it's in your hips. Nod your head and shake your head. And we'll rise up to our seats. We're going to lean back again and switch the cross of our legs and take that same thing. This might feel different. This might feel quote unquote better for you because you're used to it. But of course, as we age, we want to create new neural pathways. So if we are habituated to sit with our legs crossed in a specific way, or to stand with one hip out all the time, or to always reach to that top shelf with your right hand, I guide you, I recommend for you to switch that up. Switch around how the order in which you brush your teeth. Maybe even stand on one leg while you brush your teeth. All right, arms in front, heart forward, long spine. Breathe in. And exhale, hands walk forward. Inhale. And come forward once more. Drop your head. Check if your sitting bones are equally holding your weight. I'm not quite, so I'm going to move one heel to create equilibrium. And then we'll come back to our seat. So we have taken all of the movements of the spine, the forward fold, the back bend, the twist on both sides, and the bend on both sides. Now we're going to go into a second round of being in this moment. Except we're going to do it through a Tonglen focused on ourselves. We're back to the Tonglen. So this is a meditation where you take away the negative energy and you give positive energy. And some folks have said they struggle with it because they don't feel they have the right or the ability or the capacity to take in someone's negative energy and cleanse it and send the cleansed energy back. So if that is the case, you could imagine you're not taking in negative energy, but rather you're sending out positive energy, which would be more of a loving kindness meditation. But either way, maybe that was too much information. We're going to come back to our meditative position and close the eyes. We're going to focus on ourselves here because, as you know, yoga teaches us that being kind to ourselves is the first step in being kind to others. Although some people have such difficulty with that because they've got some sort of trauma that it is easier for them to focus on other people, learn to love them, and then learn to love themselves. But we're going to start with ourselves. So imagine yourself as a 4 or 6-year-old child. Maybe there's some memory that comes to mind or an outfit that you wore, or maybe an old photograph where you have an angelic smile on your face and look like the sweetest child in the whole world. So picture that you, that version of you at that time. So in that moment. And imagine that as you inhale, you're drawing out any negativity, any sadness, any jealousy, any of the negative emotions and bad energy from that child, cleansing it through your own adult body and sending back positive, affirmative energy. You could use colors for that. I use gray when I take in, and I use pink when I send back out. So we're going to breathe in. And positive energy back out. Just maintain that vision, that focus. A big, big breath in and release. Picture yourself now as a teenager. It could be on the younger side or the older side. And picture that person who is part of you but is not you, standing right in front of you. You're looking into your own eyes. You're identifying how you as a person felt at that age, perhaps in a specific situation. You find yourself here and you breathe in any negative energy, breathe out positive energy. Keep going. And we take a big, big breath in and out through the mouth. Picture yourself as you are today. If you're looking in a mirror, but the person in the mirror is, in fact, a person, that person is you. You may gaze at this image and find flaws, imperfections. The idea here is to help understand ourselves, our own suffering, our own pain, and in return, share our compassion. The pain and suffering might not be eliminated fully, but where we can aid is in the calm, the breath, the warm energy, the compassion, the healing power. So now you're seated in front of yourself as you are today, and we breathe in the negative energy. Breathe out positive energy. Continue. Drop your hands by your sides. Inhale, lift the arms up, palms forward. Exhale, whoosh. Inhale up. And then we fold with a whoosh. One more time. Inhale, rise up to your seat. If you have a prop, you might want to remove it here. We're going to bring wide legs. And as much as possible, press your calves and your thighs to the ground. Reach your heels away from you. In fact, some of us might be so stretchy that the heels lift a little bit off the mat, but it's not necessarily a goal. All right, we're going to sit up for a moment. We're simply going to turn and look over the left knee. Keep pressing the heels away, the toes toward you. Come to center. Exhale, turn the other way. Inhale, center. Bring the sole of the right foot inside the left thigh. Take a look at your right knee. We're sitting up nice and tall. You might use your left hand on the ground or on your calf, that's a shin, of your knee or your thigh. So you can float the opposite arm up and then take a tilt, keeping the heart open, and your right fingertips are reaching toward your left toes. You do not have to reach them. If it helps to find a little depth by placing the left arm parallel to the left leg, go ahead. You don't want that right knee to scoot way up toward your rib cage. Rise up, both arms high. Find a cactus shape. And wind your right elbow under your left, one rep or two. Elbows lift shoulder height or higher. Belly is nice and strong. Loosen the right knee. And then scoop the elbows and the rib cage toward the hips, the bony hips on the front. We're going to do a big ta-da. I think you know how to interpret that. Ta-da! Brrr. All right, we're going to do it the other way. So we have a wide V for the legs. We face the left knee. Right hand helping you out. Left arm reaches. And then our tilt toward the right toes. Keep pressing that left knee down, out and down. Heart up. Nice wide rib cage, allowing the breath to flow freely. And then maybe the right arm comes parallel to the right leg. Slowly rise up, arms overhead. Cactus shape arms, wind your left elbow under your right, one wrap or two, and then lift them. On your next exhale, squeeze the elbows and the rib cage toward your hips. And rise back up. Hands drop down, soles of the feet come together. There's a nice big diamond inside. We're going to scoot the hands underneath the ankles, reach the heart forward, and find a rounded spine. Rise back up using your belly. Your hands help the knees come back upward and spread the feet as wide as your mat. Hands come behind you, and we take a little movement, torso twist, left and right. Staying present, feeling what you feel in this moment. In this moment. Taking your time to allow the consciousness to float from one body part to another, or maybe even the consciousness floats inside your head and takes a look and a listen at the words that you speak to yourself. All right, we're going to find a comfortable seated position and do some wrist work. I'm still healing from surgery, so doing it on all fours is difficult. So we're going to reach the left arm forward as straight as possible with the fingers pointing toward the sky. Use the right hand to pull that left hand toward you. I don't know if you could hear that. There are certainly people coming in for glass blowing. And then we're going to take the other side. Right arm nice and long. Nice dynamic energy. And then other way, we're going to point the right hand down. And then we'll point the left hand down. And now for the fun part, the Mobius strip. So we're going to go ahead and, like a kid praying before dinner. I don't even think they do that anymore. We're going to go ahead and make a sideways figure 8, which is going to be pretty easy in one direction. And then we're going to move in the other direction, much harder. I have to go slower that way, but this is a great way to create a new neural pathway. I think I screwed that up. It might have been like a 9 instead of an 8. But also good for finding yourself in the moment without trying to understand, but more so to kind of go, this feels kind of cool. Or I wouldn't have thought of doing it the opposite direction. All right, now we're going to move to child's pose. Very gentle class this morning. In child's pose, if your head resists coming to the mat, you're going to place a prop underneath your forehead. Or maybe you're as close to your heels as possible. So sometimes I like to take the heels of my hands and press them forward to really stretch the back and then bring them back down. Given everything that we've already practiced, which is sort of a study in and of itself, why don't you establish an intention for the rest of today? And repeat it to yourself 3 times as you rock your head left and right like you could meld it into your gray matter. Feel your breath moving up and down the spine, spreading across your low back. We're going to come into a tabletop. And in an unusual moment, we're going to stretch the right leg behind us, but keep the shoelace side of the foot on the ground. So square up your hips as much as possible. And then we're going to lift the right leg and tap the foot down. Lift, tap. Belly is activated. The right glutes are activated. The right thigh. And then next time we lift it, we'll float the left arm in front just for balance, drawing the navel toward the belly button and pointing the toes down and the heel away from you. Hand will come down, and we're going to sweep that leg out to the right and place it on the ground. You might want to kickstand your left shin a little bit out to the left, and we will rise up. Rise up, rise up. This might be enough for you, or you might take your right hand onto your thigh, your left arm up and over, and take a tilt. I love this because it opens the quad on the side opposite the extended leg. Really press energy into the shoelace side of that left foot and the outer edge of the right. Now we can sweep into rock star. Left hand comes outside the left knee and the right arm floats up. The pelvis moves forward. We'll come back into a three-legged tabletop. So we can sweep the right leg above the left calf and find that beautiful glute stretch that we love, or at least I do so much. Great place to feel what you feel right here, right now. Notice what's in your thoughts, what's in your heart, your emotion, what's in your body. Is it the truth? Is something else the truth? And you just don't allow yourself to think about it. Maybe the truth for me at this moment is that I can get more out of this stretch, so I tuck my right toes under and float the knee off the mat. And we return to tabletop for a few cats and cows or any organic movement your body calls for. Making sure the hips and the knees are same distance apart. And then all that comes to the other side. So we straighten the spine, draw the left leg behind us, shoelace side of the foot on the ground, square up the hips, belly comes in, and we lift and tap. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Maybe we slow down that tap a little bit. Next time the left foot lifts, point the toes down or toward you and reach the right arm around in front. All right. Right hand down, left leg swings out, and the whole foot plants on the ground. You might take the right shin and angle it a little bit so the foot is outside the shin and walk back. Gate latch pose. Left hand on your thigh, right arm high, and a tilt. And rock star. And the arm swings down, the other arm comes down, we reach the left leg behind, and then cross it above the right. Glide the front of that left hip back, the glute opener. Finding your truth, questioning your truth. Could you be doing differently? Could you be getting more out of this? Would that be too much? Are you already doing too much? This is integrity. All right, we're going to come back to our tabletop. And we're going to take the left foot outside the left hand, nice and wide, toes point out. And then take the right foot outside the right hand. And then find a malasana. We're not going to stay in it for very long. But we're going to bring a smile to our face. Something I do every morning, maybe not put a smile on my face, although I should, is malasana. It's great for digestion, but we're just going to use it to help us get a little bit more hip opening. I say just. Hands down, right foot behind, runner's lunge, but with the hands inside the left foot. Heel toe your left foot all the way over to your right wrist. We're going to find our way into pigeon. So if you have to use your hands to get there, feel free. You might like a little back bend first. You might like a little quad stretch. And then you'll find your fold. That right leg should be directly out of the right hip behind you. And if your foot tends to sickle, you're going to see if you can straighten it out. It will feel a little weird. And come back to your intention for the remainder of the day. Because now is not the time to create lists. Now is the time for experience. What do you feel in your forehead or your elbows? What are you feeling in your left thigh and glutes? What are you feeling in your right leg? What's your self-talk? Where are you carrying emotion or soothing yourself? Hands return to the mat. We find our way back into a tabletop. We start by putting the right foot outside the right hand, and then the left foot outside the left hand. Come down to Malasana or prayer squat once again. Nice strong back. And this time, hands down, runner's lunge with the left leg back. Heel toe the right foot all the way over to the left. You might need to use your hands to get it there in order to find your pigeon here. Once again, perhaps taking a back bend, a quad stretch. Settling in, stretching out that left leg. You're going to lean onto that right thigh. Sweep your left leg around. Find a moment in stacked logs with the left shin above the right shin. You can always place a prop between your knees. We have just a few minutes left. So we're going to take a twist here. Right hand behind you, left hand on your left foot. Sit up nice and tall. And twist. Lower your back shoulder. Come front and center, hands behind you. Switch the cross or stack of your legs. By the way, if half lotus or full lotus works for you, you can take that. If none of that works for you, you can always just cross your legs. And again, we're going to take a twist, this time to the left. Front and center, feet to the ground. We're going to come all the way back to the mat. Take a full body stretch. Bend the knees, bring the hands under the low back with the palms facing down, and then lift the legs to the sky. Shoulders scoot toward the hips on the same sides. And your Shavasana shape. That could be seated with your back against a wall, seated in a meditative position, traditional pose, or knees bent. And once again, we scan the body, this time from the crown of the head all the way to the grounding energy at the low pelvis and the feet. We return to this moment in this place and notice what we are feeling physically, emotionally, self-talk. What's in our hearts? Make a huge breath in from the soles of the feet all the way to the top of the head. Release through the mouth. Find your way to the seat by bending your knees. You can always come onto one side first, or you can find yourself rocking forward and backward until you make your way to your seat. We'll close our eyes once again, long spine. Chin tucked this time, however, the hands together at the heart, like they've settled right in there. We'll close our practice to the chant of Om, a single chant of Om. If you would like to join in, feel free, and otherwise you can imagine the Om kind of riding out on your breath. We'll take a cleansing breath first. Fill up, let go, inhale. Om. Thumb knuckles connect right at the center of your forehead. With heartfelt gratitude for joining me in this practice, I wish for you experience, recognition of experience, and sharing of compassion. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining, whether live or recorded. I know a bunch of you are doing the recording, so if I mention dates and such, I apologize if you're not in and around on those dates. If you have a chance, check out our website. We have some regular events, both in glass blowing and yoga. In fact, this coming Tuesday, which I think is the 12th, 13th, something like that, of October, I'll be back at Inklings Children's Books in Waitsfield, Vermont, in the morning at 10 for little one and me yoga, which is about 45 minutes. Anyway, mwah to all, and have a really fantastic rest of your day, evening, weekend, week, month, year. Bye.